ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
It's a new home for the Vikings. They continue their tradition, designated someone to blow the Galler horn to signal the start of battle on the gridiron. Randy Moss, Vikings legend, our ESPN colleague, with the honors tonight. Bud Grant handled it, legendary coach, in the first regular season game played here in week 2, their win over Green Bay. It's a stadium that defies description. Absolutely amazing. The noise deafening. Minnesota won the toss and deferred. They'll put that great defense out first, and Blair Walsh kicks it deep into the end zone. Dwayne Harris will try it from about 5 yards deep, and a good decision. Marcus Sherrills finally wrestles him down near the 40-yard line. A great start for the Giants on the road tonight. Led by Eli Manning in his 12th year out of Ole Miss, the 2-time Super Bowl champ and Super Bowl MVP, making his 187th consecutive start. Most among active quarterbacks, and third longest all time. Brett Favre 297 in a row, and Eli's brother Peyton Manning made 227 consecutive starts. No Rashad Jennings or Shane Vereen at running back tonight, so Orleans Darkwa gets the start to the right of Manning. Just a 4-man rush, and the pass incomplete. Over the middle, intended for Darkwa, out of the backfield with Eric Kendricks in coverage.
Expect a lot of quick passes to neutralize this Minnesota pass rush from Eli Manning tonight. They have 3 great receivers. They're going to run a no-huddle offense. But can he communicate in this noise snap after snap?
Eli told us, Ben McAdoo, the coach as well, they've been working on silent count since off-season workouts back in April. Harrison Smith, the safety, creeping up near the line of scrimmage. After the play fake, Manning on target for a first down across midfield. The rookie Sterling Shepard, tackled by Captain Munnerlyn, a pickup of 12. For the Giants, offensive line Bobby Hart starts for the second week in a row at right tackle for the injured Marshall Newhouse. The 3 terrific wide receivers, with Darkwa getting to start at running back. Larry Janelle, the tight end, moved and then reset. Darkwa ahead for a yard. Taken down by Linval Joseph, the huge man at 329 pounds, the former New York Giant.
Good luck running the ball inside against Linval Joseph. And Mike Zimmer brought Harrison Smith, his Pro Bowl safety, on a perimeter blitz. 2nd down and 9.
3 receivers in the bunch to Manning's left. Willie will tie one of them. Came in motion back toward the end of the line. And the difficulty with the noise. Inside handoff and a good hold. Darkwa taken down by Harrison Smith, very near the first down marker. For Minnesota on defense, Robinson, Steffen, Joseph, and Griffin. A tremendous front 4. Chad Greenway in his 11th and final year with the youngsters Kendricks and Barr. He thinks they're as talented as any linebacker duo in the league. Terrence Newman at age 38 starts at one corner. Xavier Rose will have the primary coverage on Odell Beckham tonight. Outstanding safeties in Smith and Sendejo. It is a first down for New York. Fake the Darkwa, then the flip to Shepard, in trouble and dropped for a loss by Terrence Newman. Flag down behind the line of scrimmage along the near sideline. The referee tonight is Brad Allen.
Illegal block in the back, number 80, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Victor Cruz called for the penalty. The Giants had 11 to the chagrin of Ben McAdoo in their loss last week against Washington.
And you do not want to fall behind the down and distance against the Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmer, the head coach, has revved up his pressure plan on 1st and 2nd down. Don't be surprised if the Vikings don't bring it all night against this single back set of the Giants.
McAdoo, the head coach, calls the offensive plays. Zimmer calls the defenses for the Vikings. Darkwa yanked down as he got inside the 45-yard line. Linval Joseph again.
A lot of injuries for the Giants in their backfield. They're missing Shane Vereen. Rashad Jennings has a bad thumb. He's not playing, so they're going to lean on Orleans Darkwa on the normal downs. And here's Bobby Rainey, who's going to have to pick up some blitzes and catch some passes.
Four-man rush. It's dumped to Rainey. He breaks a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and that's a big miss. Eric Kendricks couldn't get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and Anthony Barr finally did at the 33.
Uncommon. Kendricks, who's been a sure tackler, has been making these one-on-one tackles in space. And Bobby Rainey, an insurance policy for Shane Vereen, cashed in nicely there.
That's the way Ben McAdoo described him. He's been our insurance policy for Vereen. It's time to cash it in. He made a big play, an 11-yard gain. 3rd and 5. They are in field goal range for Josh Brown. Movement, and it negates the play. Eric Flowers, the left tackle.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. 4 down.
Flowers is going to have his hands full at left tackle. He's quick out of his stance. He's going to have a tough assignment all night long against Everson Griffin, one of the hottest pass rushers in football. And on the other side, a very experienced second-year man, Bobby Hart. 2 big penalties set up a 3rd down and 10 for New York.
They committed only 7 penalties combined in the first 2 weeks. They were the least penalized team in the league, the Giants, through 2 weeks. But the 11 penalties and 3 turnovers killed them against the Redskins. And again, trouble getting lined up. 5-man rush. Manning, a wobbler, incomplete, and almost picked off by the diving safety, Andrew Sendejo.
Oh, that's a defense that they're known for here. 2 linebackers in the A-gaps. You're going to see Kendricks, number 54, pop out of there and then pick the tackle on a stunt. Ball just out of the reach of Sterling Shepard. And penalties. You said it, Sean. They had 11 last week against the Redskins, 2 on that opening drive. Killers.
Brad Wing, the Australian, went to LSU on the punt. Be a 55-yard field goal indoors. A bit surprised that Ben McAdoo isn't trying it. Brown has a strong leg. Wing, well, that's why they don't kick the field goal. It is down by Dwayne Harris at the 1-yard line. 37-yard punt. First time on offense for the Vikings when we come back to Minneapolis. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by IBM. Outthink your biggest challenges. By Toyota. Let's go places. By NFL Game Pass. Replay every game this season. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial. And by Fox Searchlight Pictures' new movie, The Birth of a Nation, only in theaters starting this Friday. Coverage tonight from Skycam is brought to you by American Express. First possession for Sam Bradford and the Vikings from their own 1-yard line after a beautiful punt by Brad Wing. They give it to the fullback, Zach Line. His first touch of the year gets 2 yards. Bradford acquired 8 days before the season opener from the Philadelphia Eagles. That was on September 3rd. They gave up a 1st-round pick and a 4th-round pick to get him. And he's been rock solid. Has not turned it over this year in 2+ starts. The only other quarterbacks who played at least 2 games as starters without a turnover. The amazing rookies, Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, combined 6 and 1. Play fake to Jerick McKinnon. Bradford with time, and his spiral is too high for Charles Johnson. Like the Giants, the Vikings offensive line a question mark. TJ Clemmings making just his 2nd career start at left tackle. He had been a backup at the start of the year. And Kyle Rudolph, one of the best tight ends in the NFL, has made a very quick, positive connection with Sam Bradford.
Keep an eye on Cordero Patterson at the bottom of the screen, number 84. When he's in the game, he's usually involved in some type of gimmick.
Covered by Trevin Wade, ordinarily a backup, out there tonight as a starter with all their injuries. There is Kyle Rudolph, but he's way short of the first down. Driven back by Keenan Robinson. Jonathan Casillas, Trevin Wade all in on the play, and it'll be a 3-and-out for the Vikings.
Vikings have been a slow starting offense this year. Only scored 2 points in the first quarter. Obviously by their defense, they just have not been able to get out of the gate, and that field position didn't help.
Excellent punt returner Dwayne Harris back deep for New York. Jeff Locke to punt. Punted very well. As a matter of fact, he says the last 2 games are the best back-to-back games of his 4-year career. And this is a good one. And it's bobbled by Harris. And the Vikings have it at the 41-yard line. The great special teamer Marcus Sherrills got on it.
That's what the Minnesota Vikings do, Sean. That is the secret recipe here. Turnover ratio.
The ruling on the field is a muff by the receiving team with recovery by the kicking team. First down.
Poor Darrell Patterson, as a gunner, came flying down there. I think Harris took his eyes off the ball, saw Patterson, he muffed the punt, and there's Sherrills for a key recovery, and they flipped the field right away. Special teams. Big impact last week in Carolina, and they make their presence felt early.
Well, Harris, when he catches it, is a productive punt returner, but that is his 10th fumbled punt of his career. Muffs count as fumbles in the stats, and Minnesota now +9 in turnover differential early in their 4th game of the season. Best in the league. Bradford swings it out. Cordero Patterson breaks a tackle and gets bumped out of bounds by the safety Landon Collins near the 20-yard line.
There's a place for this young man. He has been deathly quiet. 2 catches last year, just 2 this year. Get this man the football. He had 9 touchdowns as a rookie. He's outstanding after the catch.
Not a consistent route runner, and it's hard to get on the field for Norv Turner when you don't run precise pass routes. Bradford against a 4-man rush, well blocked, and a short gain. Jerick McKinnon out of the backfield for a pickup of 3, taken by Jonathan Casillas to the ground.
You know, Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings, has adjusted his offense, not just because Sam Bradford's here. He's done it because there's no Adrian Peterson. Why be in the I formation and slam Adrian Peterson when he's not available? They are using open formations, spread formations that Bradford has been using since his Oklahoma days.
Bunch to the right. We want to give this depleted secondary some different looks. McKinnon up the middle. Keenan Robinson to tackle. There's Adrian Peterson. 5 times first-team All-Pro, 7 times a Pro Bowler, the league MVP in 2012. 3 times he's led the league in rushing, including last season. Injured his knee against Green Bay in week 2, and now there's an injured Viking, Andre Smith, the right tackle. They're already playing without their left tackle, Matt Khalil, who underwent hip surgery not long ago. The Vikings medical staff taking a look at the right tackle, Andre Smith. In his first season with the Vikings, signed as a free agent in the offseason to strengthen this offensive line. Jeremiah Searles has come into the game. He saw a lot of action last week at guard in the win at Carolina. Sam Bradford throws, caught. Jerick McKinnon taken down along the near sideline by Keenan Robinson. So that's a first down for Minnesota at the 9-yard line, a 6-yard gain.
Well, you got a backup right tackle. He comes in on 3rd down, one-on-one against Jason Pierre-Paul, and he gets the job done. And Sam Bradford taking what the defense gives him. Finds Jerick McKinnon, who is a good receiving back. First down.
Minnesota looking for its first offensive points in the first quarter this year. 1st and goal from the 9.
Might have been Searles at right tackle, Sean.
False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Brandon Fusco right next to him, the right guard. 60-year man out of Slippery Rock.
Giants have been playing good red zone defense the first 3 weeks of the season. Must keep an eye on Kyle Rudolph, number 82, tight end at the bottom of the screen. He's been a go-to target for Norv Turner so far this season.
New York showing blitz. But they don't bring it, and the throw is batted down. A flag thrown intended for Cordero Patterson with Janoris Jenkins in coverage.
This is a seam route to Patterson, and I think Jenkins got there early.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. The foul occurred in the end zone by rule. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
Looked like Jenkins, the ex-St. Louis Ram, clearly got there early, and penalties once again dooming the New York Giants. 2 on offense, and that's a big one on defense.
They've had a bunch of injuries here at the start of the season in the secondary. Eli Apple, the first-round pick, not playing tonight with a hamstring. Darian Thompson, a rookie out of Boise State, a start at the beginning of the year. Then Nat Burhay came in for him, and he's hurt. First and goal from the 1. They're throwing a fade for Rudolph, and well covered by Janoris Jenkins.
Well, the Giants were confused. Had a linebacker out there covering Rudolph. He called Jenkins for help. Here comes Jenkins to cover the big tight end on a high point fade. That's good work. Poor throw by Bradford. He looked a little confused as to what the coverage was. Second down and goal. Asiata, bigger back. That's the eye.
With Zach Line, the fullback. Asiata, touchdown Minnesota.
Wow, they came storming off the left side. Alex Boone at left guard. Free agent acquisition from the San Francisco 49ers. Just a simple I formation give, and you see the fullback Zach Line escort Mac Asiata to daylight. 6 points. Turnover by Harris. Penalty by Jenkins. Mistakes will cost you.
Giants have been turning it over and committing penalties. The Vikings have not. And that trend continues into the start of this game. Asiata's first touchdown of the year. Now Blair Walsh, who's missed 2 extra points already this year, right down the middle, and his teammates know that was big for Walsh's confidence. The 3-0 Vikings off to a great start in the raucous U.S. Bank Stadium. We're back in downtown Minneapolis, where the Minnesota Vikings lead the Giants 7-0. A view from inside the stadium. There are enormous glass doors that open at that end of the stadium to give it an open air feel, let some fresh air into the building. This place is amazing. Built at a cost of $1.1 billion. The Vikings played the last 2 years outdoors on the University of Minnesota campus. Blair Walsh to Dwayne Harris will take a knee. Well, I know, John, you love the movie The Little Giants. The Giants wide receivers, not particularly tall. The tallest is Victor Cruz at 6 feet tall. But they've played big through the first 3 weeks of the year. Their 708 combined receiving yards, most among any receiver trio in the NFL.
This is a matchup offense. They think their #1 receiver is better than your #1 corner. You're going to see Beckham draw Xavier Rhodes a lot tonight. They think their #2 receiver, Cruz, is better than your #2, and they love Sterling Shepard, their #3 against your #3.
Shepard usually plays in the slot. That's meant that Victor Cruz has moved outside primarily. He had been a slot receiver throughout his career. Here comes the noise again. They snap it with 2. Orleans Darkwa.
That's what happens, Sean. Whoa. The Vikings play coverage. They played a 2-deep zone. They had a light box, and they dare Eli Manning to run the ball. And if you want to run the ball between the tackles with Linval Joseph in there, good luck. They can stuff the run and play a lot of coverage because of Joseph and their run defenders inside.
Chad Greenway, the linebacker of the Vikings, told John the other day that Joseph's the strongest man he's ever seen on a football field. He just demonstrated that. 2nd and 10. They worked on the silent count, but it looks like Eli's trying to communicate verbally with not a tremendous amount of success. But right now it's successful. Orleans Darkwa with a flag down. And it's in the defensive backfield where the flag's thrown near where Darkwa got tackled. 17-yard gain if it stands, and good work by Manning at the line to get them into that running play.
Illegal use of the hands, hands to the face, number 29, defense. 5-yard penalty is administered from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
There it is, Rhodes against Beckham at the bottom of your screen. See if Rhodes gets his hands in Odell's face mask.
It's football.
First down, New York.
Rhodes been bothered by a knee injury this season. They did a great job in Carolina last week. They held Kelvin Benjamin without a catch. Darkwa again. Dancing into that defensive line. Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr, a couple of linebackers in on the play.
Every week, Odell Beckham is going to get your best corner. Last week, he saw Josh Norman of the Washington Redskins had great success. He made some unbelievable catches against all kind of coverages, and not many people have the stiff arm after the catch that Odell Beckham Jr. has. He's going to draw the #1 corner and the #1 coverage you got every week.
He had 7 catches last week for 121 yards. 2nd and 8, just shy of midfield. Here comes a Viking blitz, in the pass incomplete. A promising play, but the pressure threw off the pass intended for Orleans Darkwa.
Blitz by Anthony Barr. He's a 6'5.5" inside linebacker. Uncommon size. Forces an errant pass by Manning. And 3rd down and 8. I'll bet this Viking crowd is up to the task.
Manning has time, dumps it off. The tight end Will Tye crossed midfield, fought for every inch, but got belted down. Eric Kendricks down low. Anthony Barr and Captain Munnerlyn up high. Flag down behind the line of scrimmage. It's against the Giants.
Illegal use of the hands, hands to the face, offense, number 68. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
The right tackle, Bobby Hart.
Eli thinks he's got one-on-one coverage down here with Rhodes, but watch Harrison Smith, the Pro Bowl safety, buzz out of there, and they're going to double Odell Beckham and force Manning someplace else. Trust me, Manning wants to throw the ball to Odell Beckham, not Will Tye on 3rd down and 9. Good work by Minnesota.
Good work by Brad Wing on his first punt. He's down at the 1. Marcus Sherrill's back deep again. And it bounces into the end zone. Seven 0 Minnesota, 4:12 to play, first quarter. It's win or go home Wednesday at 8 Eastern time on ESPN when the San Francisco Giants take on the New York Mets in the National League wild card game. You can stream it live on the ESPN app. On first down for Minnesota, running room for Jerick McKinnon. That's the longest run from scrimmage of this season for Minnesota. The previous long, just 14 yards.
Toss, crack. Right behind Alex Boone, and wide receiver Adam Thielen come in and crack Olivier Vernon. Watch this block by a wide receiver, and that ball gets to the corner, and McKinnon can hurt you. Creative running attack led by Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator. You're going to see all kind of formations and different types of runs.
Vikings averaging 51 yards per game rushing, last in the NFL, but they're 3-0. They try the run again with the fullback, Zach Line. He's down shy of midfield in the arms of Damon Harrison, one of those big-priced free agents that they signed in the offseason to strengthen this Giants defense.
And these Giants, they got to show some resolve. You know, you got to come back from a tough loss the next week and get it done. And the Giants need a quality road win. Haven't had one in a while.
Play fake to Jarrett McKinnon. Deep ball. Incomplete. Intended for Charles Johnson with Trevin Wade in coverage. Here's the Giants defense tonight. Harrison signed as a free agent from the Jets, and Olivier Vernon from the Dolphins. Join Hankins and Pierre-Paul. Jonathan Casillas is the defensive captain. Shepard, a free agent from the Dolphins with Kennard. And Andrew Adams, the rookie from Connecticut, had played only one snap on defense in the first 3 games. In there starting tonight due to the injuries. Deep throw! Adam Thielen couldn't catch it with Trevin Wade in coverage.
Went on a quick count. The Giants weren't ready. Ball was slightly underthrown, but clearly the Giants not ready for action, and Thielen has a step on Wade. Ball slightly underthrown.
Crowd thought that Wade got his arm in there and yanked down the arm of Thielen.
Some of these bang plays, you got to let them play.
Pat Shermer, the tight end coach who was on the right of your screen, who certainly thought it should have been a penalty. So Jeff Locke to punt. Dwayne Harris back there again. His muff punt earlier in the quarter led to the Minnesota score. He lets this one go, and that bounds into the end zone. 53-yard punt. 2:47 to go in the opening quarter here in Minneapolis. Well, it's a phenomenon that is sweeping the nation. It's the formation of the week with Coach Gruden. What do you have for us this week?
I'll show you what the Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer is doing with this double A package. He puts 2 linebackers in the A gap between the center and the guard. And they do a lot of stuff. They put Harrison Smith on one side, Captain Munnerlyn on the other. Sometimes they bluff you. Nobody blitzes at all. The next time they might just bring one of these linebackers. The next time they might bring both of them. The next time they might just stunt the defensive lineman. Then they bring all of them. It's a jailbreak blitz. Then they bring 4 to a side. Then they bring 4 over here. They bring 1 here and 1 over there. They do it all, and Eli Manning has to figure it all out in the noise.
America wants to know, I'll ask you after the play, what muddy coverage is.
Well, you don't know if it's man-to-man. You don't know if it's zone. You don't know if it's 2 deep or 3 deep. They mix it up extremely well.
I'm glad we didn't have to wait till after the play. 3 seconds on the play clock. Here's Paul Perkins, the rookie out of UCLA. As he's gotten more comfortable, he'll get some playing time. There's Mike Zimmer at age 60 in his 3rd season as head coach of the Vikings. He waited a long time for this opportunity, and he has made the most of it.
When you think of Buddy Ryan, you think of the Bear defense. You think Bill Parcells, I think of the 34 defense. You think Monty Kiffin, I think of the over defense. When I see that face, I think of double A's. It's downright scary.
The toss to Perkins, trying to find some running room. Flag down, as you see. Chad Greenway and Eric Kendricks brought him down. That's a gathering of UCLA Bruins.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Second penalty of the night, 5th of the season already against Eric Flowers, the second-year man out of Miami of Florida, former first-round pick.
Well, you can't play in this league if you commit penalties. And if you do play people that commit penalties, you're not going to win. Critical penalties last week, that's 2 tonight. And when you fall behind in the down and distance against Zimmer in this place, good luck.
4 penalties for 38 yards for the Giants. 2nd and 17. New York at its own 13-yard line. Eli just threw it at the feet of Will Tye.
Third down and long. You better be careful. Look for a draw or a screen. Eli using the quick game. He's been conservative tonight. This is what the Vikings do the best. They get you behind in the down and distance. Hunter at the bottom of the screen, number 99, an emerging star as a pass rusher.
On 3rd and 17, they swing it out wide for Sterling Shepard. He gets run down by Everson Griffin.
What effort. He read his tip sheet. He knew it was going to be a quick screen, predictable situation, and it's just all-out effort that separates Everson Griffin from most of the crowd in this league. Recognition, effort, good work. And again, Sean, the penalties dooming the Giants.
Third punt of the quarter from Wing. Should be a chance to return it for Sherrills, who brought one back for a touchdown last week at Carolina. His fourth punt return for a touchdown in his career, the Vikings record. Backpedaled to the 28, and good coverage by Dwayne Harris. 53-yard punt to return to 4 for Sherrills. Well, one way to quantify what NFL executives think of Sam Bradford, the resources they've given up to get him. St. Louis made him the #1 overall pick. Then Philadelphia traded Nick Foles and 2 picks to the Rams to get Sam. And then after Teddy Bridgewater got hurt in the preseason, Rick Spielman of the Vikings traded a 1 and a 4 to Philadelphia 8 days before the season opener to bring Sam Bradford to Minnesota. Courageous trade, and it's worked out very well for the Vikings. Cordero Patterson, the wide receiver, frequently carries the ball. Ahead for 2. We talked to Coach Zimmer yesterday, John. We talked to a couple of the players. They all said the same thing. Rick Spielman sent a message to the team. We believe in you even without Teddy Bridgewater. The time is now to go win and win big.
And you have to give the man a lot of credit for negotiating with Howie Roseman. I know that had to be a tough process on both general managers, but Philadelphia and Minnesota both playing with new opening day starters. It's unbelievable, and they're both undefeated.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 undefeated teams in the league with Denver. There were 5 to start the weekend, but Baltimore and New England suffered their first losses. Final seconds of the quarter. Dumped off to Rhett Ellison, backup tight end, down at the 37, knocked down by Landon Collins. That's the end of the first quarter here in Minneapolis, with the Vikings leading the Giants 7-0. Back at U.S. Bank Stadium, just opened its doors in July. Second home game for the Vikings. You're looking inside Club Purple. That sofa can be yours for $60,000 annually. It's a fantasy sports lounge. You can connect to live content, fantasy sports related, during the game. Incomplete pass off the hands of Stephon Diggs, their leading receiver through the first 3 games. That's a big drop that'll force a punt.
It's impressive coverage by Janoris Jenkins, and Diggs, who's been extremely hot for this Viking offense, has been quiet tonight. Here's Harris.
Harris's muffed punt, the difference in the game. The total yardage almost dead even through 1 quarter. 71 yards for Minnesota, 68 for the Giants. But Harris muffed the punt from Jeff Locke earlier, and Minnesota scored on a 41-yard drive. Harris lets it go over his head. I almost wonder if he's a little gun shy now. Down by Rhett Ellison at the 13-yard line.
Well, Sean, it's been a defensive struggle, much like we expected coming in here. Let's see if Eli Manning and Ben McAdoo, who've been together a while, have made some adjustments and solved this Viking defense.
Third year together. Ben McAdoo 2 years as offensive coordinator. Tom Coughlin elevated to head coach this year. Not much of an age difference between the two. McAdoo's 39. Eli's 35. On the delay, Orleans Darkwa in trouble. Managed to bounce forward and turn it into a good gain. Banged his way out to the 18-yard line before he's finally taken down by Harrison Smith.
And it looks like Larry Donnell, their tight end, got banged up.
Jason Pierre-Paul is also getting medical attention on the sideline. Starting defensive end. He hasn't come off the field much at all this year. He played 98% of their snaps. Ooh, Donnell looks like the concussion protocol upcoming for him.
Giants had a lot of injuries last year. They changed their entire strength program, and they have a lot of injuries again this year. And it's only week 4.
5 yards for Darkwa on first down. Manning after the play fake. Darkwa stayed in the block. Eli on target to Victor Cruz for a first down.
Great pass protection. It gave Eli a chance. Survey the defense, and Victor Cruz comes back to his quarterback one-on-one against Terrence Newman. Good to see Victor Cruz running around again. 2011, over 1,500 yards, had 3 great seasons, and what a dark place he was in for a couple years. It is great seeing him running around again.
8-yard gain, his first catch of the night. Darkwa tripped up as he lunged toward the 30, taken down by Tom Johnson. Good work tonight by Xavier Rhodes, although that play resulted in a penalty when he hit Beckham in the face.
Well, he hasn't been targeted yet. And great receivers get frustrated. It's not just Odell Beckham. That's league-wide. That's been a tradition. Wide receivers want the ball, especially the great ones.
Frustrated, but no encounters with field goal nets yet, and slammed into the ground. The pass by Manning. They were trying to set up a middle screen, it seemed.
No grounding.
Well, Shane Vereen not in the lineup tonight. And Eli disgusted with Rainey. I don't know if Rainey's supposed to run a screen to his left. Eli clearly expecting Rainey to show up someplace. 3rd down and 8.
New York 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Manning with time. The receiver went down. Sterling Shepard, no flag down. To the dismay of the Giants sideline, Captain Munnerlyn tells them, I didn't do anything.
Captain Munnerlyn, he's a good nickel corner. Tough man. They take out Chad Greenway, an excellent linebacker, and they put Captain Munnerlyn in his place in their nickel package. And Shepard fell down, but Captain Munnerlyn, he's played that position well for a long time.
He just tripped over his own feet. There's Brad Wing. His 4th punt already, not even 2 minutes into the 2nd quarter. End over end, returnable for Marcus Sherrills. Protects the ball and gets taken down at the 35-yard line by the long snapper, Zach Diossi, one of the best in the business. 45-yard punt, a return of 8. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings Beer Sports. By GMC, we are professional grade. By ESPNshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. And by Michelin, a better way forward. One of many art and photography exhibits here at US Bank Stadium. The work of Matt Blair, who played linebacker for the Vikings in the 70s and 80s and member of their Ring of Honor. Avid photographer, captured many images from his playing career, and they're on display. Nearly 40 local artists were commissioned to contribute extensive collection to this fantastic facility. Stephon Diggs, a gain of 1. Landon Collins, the tackle. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, an update on Jason Pierre-Paul. As you can see, he's back in the game, appears to be fine. We didn't get any official word on what they were working on, but when he was over on the bench, sitting on the bench, the trainers were having him lift his arms, so it looked unclear to me what they were looking for, but you can see what they were doing. He got the all clear, and again, he's back in the ballgame. Appears to be fine, Sean.
All right, Lisa, thanks. Giants crowding the line of scrimmage. Jerick McKinnon turned the corner to the 41. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Flag down on the play.
Going to be holding against Minnesota.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Alex Boone, the left guard, another free agent signing, came over from San Francisco to try to strengthen this offensive line.
You know, Tony Sperano's the new offensive line coach. You lose Matt Khalil, so you move T.J. Clemmings, a backup right tackle, to left tackle. And then you lose Andre Smith, your right tackle, so you got to put Jeremiah Searles in at right tackle. They've had a lot of injuries. Sperano doesn't get enough credit for holding it together. They've lost Adrian Peterson, their quarterback, and they've also lost several linemen.
Veteran coaching staff here with Sperano, a new addition. Bradford's pass caught. Adam Thielen gets the first down.
I like this guy, Sean. He's my grinder. Minnesota State, undrafted. You see Laquan Treadwell, first-round pick, standing on the sideline because Thielen has been so reliable.
Jonathan Casillas missed the tackle, a big miss. It results in an 18-yard gain for the popular native Minnesotan from Detroit Lakes, Adam Thielen, out of Minnesota State, formerly Mankato State. Undrafted, came to an open tryout here. They put him on the practice squad, and now he's a key component. Jerick McKinnon rips ahead for about 10 more. Michael Hunter seeing action tonight because of all the injuries. The rookie out of Oklahoma State made the tackle.
Let me tell you about these tryout camps. They call it Call of the Wild here. Rick Spielman, the general manager, brings all these players in from a 50-mile radius. Guys like me and you, Sean, they give you a visor and a T-shirt. No one ever gets picked out of the Call of the Wild, these tryout camps. This kid did, and he made the team on the practice squad. He's worked his way up. Good for him.
We go to their version of the Wildcat with Jerick McKinnon, a triple option quarterback in college at Georgia Southern. And he got inside the 40 to the 38, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Leon Hall the tackle.
That's what Norv Turner does. The man has a vast amount of experience. If you give him 11 players, I don't care where you come from, he's going to find a way to make first downs. Unbalanced line, Wildcat formations, bubble screens, empty sets. He's been doing it a long time, and he's been doing it quite well.
They've rushed for 51 yards. That was their average per game through the first 3 weeks. They've hit the average already, and you can add to it. And a first down for Matt Asiata.
That's one of the things Sam Bradford brought to Minnesota. Up tempo. Watch the Giant defense. They're not ready. Sam Bradford very comfortable in a no-huddle offense. He did it at Oklahoma. He did it at Philadelphia. And now Norv Turner has him pulling the trigger quickly here in Minnesota. I like the changeup.
Of course, they played very quickly last year in Philadelphia when he was the quarterback of the Eagles. And Sam raved about his experience with Chip Kelly. And the throw is caught. Stephon Diggs to the 13-yard line, tackled by Leon Hall. Vikings on the move, trying to build on a 7-0 lead, a gain of 21.
Shotgun play action pass. You see the linebackers step up, and the ball's thrown in behind them with great touch. Over the underneath coverage, and he throws the ball where Diggs can protect himself before Leon Hall can get there.
And Leon Hall banged up on the play. They can't afford any more injuries in that secondary. 10-year veteran, the first 9 with Cincinnati. Now in his first year with the Giants, playing both corner and safety. It's a contact lens issue for Leon Hall on the sideline. 1st and 10 Minnesota, driving to the Giants 13, leading 7-0. Bradford throws, caught by Adam Thielen at the 10, gain of 3. Trevin Wade was right there for New York.
Look out in that Giant huddle, Sean. 2 rookies. Andrew Adams, number 33, playing safety out of Connecticut. Number 39, Michael Hunter, played last year at Oklahoma State. Giants are decimated in the secondary. No Rogers Cromartie, first rounder Eli Apple. You just saw Leon Hall leave. I don't know what Steve Spagnuolo should call.
Takes the pass. Jerick McKinnon, shaky tackling along that defensive line. And finally, Olivier Vernon wrestled down McKinnon.
McKinnon's interesting, Sean. He was a 3rd-round pick out of Georgia Southern. He played almost every position there is to play. He played quarterback, he played wide receiver, corner. And in Adrian Peterson's absence, McKinnon and Asiata are going to have to do it by committee. And here's Asiata, the big back.
On 3rd and 4, they can get a first down near the 3-yard line. Bradford steps into a throw. Caught. Touchdown, Kyle Rudolph.
Sam Bradford looks like he's been here for a long time. Rudolph lining up as a wide receiver against a backup corner. Trevin Wade, the size advantage is no contest, and Sam Bradford has been sticking the ball in tight windows for 3 weeks against great competition. I go back to the trade. Rick Spielman getting Sam Bradford, and Sam Bradford coming in here and learning this offense this fast is impressive.
Third straight game with a touchdown catch for Kyle Rudolph. Here's Blair Walsh with the extra point. 65 yards in 9 plays. They took 5 minutes off the clock. Bradford 5 for 5 on the drive. Next Monday, we travel south to Charlotte for the NFC South showdown between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. That's at 8:15 Eastern Time. Coverage begins at 6 with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Catch all the action on ESPN, streaming live on Watch ESPN. Still to be determined if Cam Newton will be able to play in that game. Suffered a concussion yesterday in their loss to Atlanta. Dwayne Harris returns the Blair Walsh kickoff and does not reach the 20. Excellent coverage by Justin Trateau, a former New York Giant.
Well, these Giant receivers, not much tonight. The targets, the receptions, the yards, nothing. The Giants have been very conservative. You come in here, you got all these great receivers, no huddle offense, Super Bowl champion quarterback. It's time to start cutting it loose. Let these receivers have a chance.
Paul Perkins, the rookie out of UCLA, the running back. The slant caught. Odell Beckham.
Tough play to stop. They run that power play out of a single back set, then they fake it. Linebacker bites, and they throw the slant to Odell Beckham right behind the vacated linebacker. 2nd and 1.
First catch of the night for Beckham. Paul Perkins, nice run, first down to the 32. He hadn't played much prior to tonight, but the coaches were saying it's just a matter of time. They like Perkins' talent. He was second team all Pac-12 at UCLA last year.
They like Perkins because he can run it and catch it, but does the young back understand the protections? If I were Minnesota, I would blitz this back and find out.
5th round pick out of UCLA, where's the 3rd all-time leading rusher, nearly 3,500 career rushing yards for the Bruins. He stays in the block, and it's another completion to Odell Beckham. Knocked out of bounds by Xavier Rhodes at the 35-yard line.
Well, Mike Zimmer heard me. I would blitz this young back and put a big body like Anthony Barr in his face. Watch Perkins try to pick up his ex-teammate. That's a mismatch. These young running backs, they got to be able to run it and catch it, but they better pick up their work as pass protectors. That wasn't good enough.
Flag at the end of the play. Long conversation here with Brad Allen and members of his crew.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 13, offense for taunting. This is the first unsportsmanlike conduct of this type for number 13. The down counts. Second down.
The reason they announced that is if there's another one, he will be ejected. They lost Weston Richburg, their center, last week to 2 of those penalties. So I think Beckham thought that he was hit out of bounds by Xavier Rhodes.
Just go play. This young man's just got to go play. He's a wanted man. They're going to analyze every action that he does after the whistle.
And that was a big topic all week after his behavior of last week. Ben McAdoo said he needs to be less of a distraction. A bullet thrown by Manning. Beckham almost welcoming the contact with Rhodes again. They pull Rhodes away on the Minnesota sideline, but Beckham needs to be careful, John. One more of those and he's gone.
And Minnesota takes their top corner out of the game. Near the sideline, I thought Beckham got away with offensive pass interference. Should have been offensive pass interference, and I don't like what I'm seeing here.
Again, they let Rhodes hit Beckham when he was clearly out of bounds. 3rd down and 11, New York from the 30. They bring a blitz. Harrison Smith didn't get there. Shepard needs to do some work, and he got knocked down by Andrew Sendejo, a yard short of the marker at the 40, and a decision for Ben McAdoo with under 6 to go in the half.
It's a shallow cross against this zone blitz. They pick it up, and it's just shy of the 1st down. The Giants are going for it.
All 11 players and the subs on the defense hit you for Minnesota. Eli waved Harris off the field. They run quickly over the ball, trying to catch the Vikings. Now are they just going to try to draw them offside, or will they snap it? Timeout, just as the play clock was about to expire.
Well, the Giants don't have a fullback. They really don't have a blocking tight end with Larry Donnell out of the game. And when you're Ben McAdoo and you have 3 receivers and 1 back, you don't have a lot of people that can block. So it's very important that they consider using one of their extra offensive linemen. They did that early in the season. They've used Brett Jones, a backup center, as a fullback. But they don't have the components to run the football in these short yardage situations.
Larry Donnell, the tight end, does have a concussion, gone for the game. Manning on the sideline as McAdoo sends the punter Brad Wing out. His 5th punt of the night. He's leading the league in gross punting average heading into this game. And another bomb. Sherrills lets it go. Takes a nice bounce for the Giants. And is down to the 12-yard line by Roger Lewis Jr. 48-yard punt. It's getting chippy here in Minneapolis. Another one of the gorgeous features of this new stadium, balconies that overlook the skyline of Minneapolis. Vikings leading 14-0. Start from their own 12. And a loss of a yard on the handoff to Jerick McKinnon. Damon Harrison and Devon Kennard combined on the tackle.
And the only chance it looks like the Giants have on defense to create a big play are these 2 pass rushers, Pierre-Paul and Olivier Vernon, decimated in the secondary. They have a whole new group of inside linebackers. You see Keenan Robinson, who came over from the Washington Redskins, but can Olivier Vernon change this game, or Jason Pierre-Paul, with their pass rush?
The Giants defense does not have a takeaway this season. They've had 1 takeaway as a team. It was on special teams. High snap to Bradford. McKinnon patiently bouncing, and he's yanked down. Where are they going to mark it? They are going to mark it just shy of the 1st down, and credit the tackle to Andrew Adams.
McKinnon showed Olivier Vernon his quickness. Watch Vernon when he sees McKinnon. The man is quick. 3rd down is short.
McKinnon out. Matt Asiata, their short yardage back primarily, is in. Asiata, and a big stop by the Giant defense, led by Olivier Vernon, with help from Jason Pierre-Paul.
Well, nobody blocked Vernon. He's going to come screaming off the left side. Nobody touched him. Had to be a mistake up front by the Vikings, and that's a critical stop. Let's see if Harris can give the Giants some much needed field position.
Fourth punt for Jeff Locke. High and relatively short, and the fair catch made by Harris. It wound up carrying 47 yards, not short at all. Back in Minneapolis on first down, the quick hitter to Victor Cruz, and he runs near midfield. They're going to mark him out. Back shy of the first down by about a yard at the 43-yard line of New York. Captain Munnerlyn chased him out.
That's what they're counting on in this spread system that they're running with these three receivers. One-on-one, we win in space. Nice job by Cruz against the veteran Terrence Newman.
Second catch of the night for Victor Cruz. 2 timeouts left and the 2-minute warning for the Giants. Bobby Rainey straight ahead. Bounced off a Harrison Smith hit and got a few more to the 48-yard line.
That's good running by Bobby Rainey. A lot of misdirection. And Eli looks like he's going to have to settle for the 2-minute drill. 2-minute warning.
With 2 timeouts, they're across midfield. They should have plenty of time. John McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our producer Jay Rothman, our director Chip Dean, our terrific Monday Night Football crew. Thrilled to be in this beautiful new facility, U.S. Bank Stadium. The Vikings trying to go to 4-0 on the season. Lead the Giants 14-0 at the 2-minute warning in the first half. 1st and 10 New York from the Vikings 48. 2 timeouts left for Eli Manning. A fake to Bobby Rainey. And a wobbler caught by Cruz and dumped at the 40 by Terrence Newman.
Vikings still playing a lot of coverage. Surprised we haven't seen a little bit more pressure. Let's see if the Vikings bring some.
They rush 5 and Eli throws it away. Boy, anytime they've gotten anywhere near him, John, he's thrown that ball into the ground.
Harrison Smith on a strong safety blitz. Unaccounted for, and Eli threw it away. But you're right, Sean. He has not been knocked down, hasn't been hit at all. But that ball's coming out so quick, you're not going to get there.
Oh for 5 on 3rd down. Are the Giants. Likely 4-down territory here. Rainey in trouble and dropped for a loss.
Giants short yardage offense, not good. They don't have a blocking tight end. They don't have a fullback. Eli hasn't run the ball in 6 years. And Linval Joseph, number 98. Penetration. Help from Johnson, number 92. They reject that run. And once again, here's Eli going for it on 4th down.
6th possession of the night for New York. They punted after each of the first 5, going for it on 4th and 4 with a minute to go in the half. Whoa, Everson Griffin was offside. And Manning, with the rush coming, elects just to throw it into the ground.
Offside. Defense number 97, unabated. It's a 5-yard penalty, results in a 1st down.
You saw how angry Mike Zimmer was. They're such a smart and disciplined team. This is really out of character.
Well, sometimes you go on the head bob of the center. Sometimes that center bobs his head twice. Sometimes it goes once. Eli Manning in this silent count, working some different combinations with his center, Weston Richburg. That's a huge 1st down.
They're at the Vikings 37, their deepest penetration of the football game. Manning stepped into the pocket. Rainey, nice move, but he couldn't stay on his feet. Got away for a moment from Captain Munnerlyn, tripped down to the ground. They're going to give him the 28-yard line, 27-yard line, and apparently a 1st down. And the chains didn't move, and that's a high throw over the head of Victor Cruz.
And unfortunately, it sets up another 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, they didn't give him the 1st down.
Eli Manning hasn't huddled tonight.
Well, now they did move the chains, and it's 2nd down and 10, so a little confusion along the chain game, but as you can see, it has moved. Rainey goes out into the pass pattern. Eli's throw high, and is it complete? No, incomplete. Odell Beckham Jr. couldn't hang on to the high throw with Xavier Rhodes right there again.
Xavier Rhodes, healthy again, is a big corner. Ball is thrown high. And Rhodes goes up and makes a beautiful play on the ball, setting up 3rd down and 10.
Another former first-round pick, Xavier Rhodes, out of Florida State, now in his 4th year. 3rd and 10. They are in field goal range. 5 seconds on the play clock, and Eli's going to use one of the 2 remaining timeouts. "25 seconds of game action away from the Toyota halftime." Chris Berman will have his final drive, a look back at the weekend in the National Football League. First take, gentlemen. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman talking about Tom Brady's return to the Patriots next weekend, and an injury update on Cam Newton, who suffered a concussion in Carolina's loss yesterday in Atlanta. The Panthers 1-3. The team they played in the NFC title game last year, the Arizona Cardinals, 1-3.
Eli going to use a dummy snap count, try to figure out which protection to use, and then he's going to flash a hand signal and tell his receivers what route to run.
Four-man rush. Manning throws, caught. Victor Cruz. The clock is ticking. 1 timeout left. First down, New York at the 17-yard line.
It's a great throw by Eli.
They don't spike it. They had a play ready to go, and it's incomplete. The far sideline. Victor Cruz got knocked down and was looking up for a flag as he got tangled up apparently with Terrence Newman.
Well, Everson Griffin knocks Eli down for the first time tonight, and that wasted timeout hurts the Giants. Here's Josh Brown, who's been a very good, accurate kicker for the Giants.
Made 91% of his field goal attempts as a Giant. 82 out of 90. 5 for 6 this year. 35-yard kick. Out of the hole to Brad Wing. The veteran snapper, Zach Diossi. And a whistle. The kick went through.
Before the snap, delay a game. Offense.
Wow.
5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
It's unbelievable.
Please reset the game clock to 6 seconds. 6 seconds on the game clock.
Penalties, Sean, have really hurt the Giants, and very uncommon that you see that.
6th penalty for 58 yards, so Brown will have to try again. From 40 yards, low snap that time, and now a whistle. I believe the Vikings called a timeout. Like Zimmer trying to get in the head of the 14-year veteran, 36-year-old Josh Brown out of the University of Nebraska.
And they also get a chance to put in your specialty block unit. You see Shamar Stephan, number 93, check in. Linville Joseph, 98. They're going to get some middle push right here and try to reject Josh Brown after the penalty.
Higher snap this time, and Brown's kick is good. 40-yarder. The Giants on the board with 2 seconds to go in the half. Minnesota 14, the Giants 3. 2 seconds to go till halftime. Squib kick by Josh Brown, mishandled for a moment by Laquan Treadwell, and that's the half. At the half, the Vikings 14 and the Giants 3. Minnesota will get the ball to begin the second half. Here's Chris Berman and the Toyota halftime. We're back at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, brand new. So many aspects of it, so well thought out. The light rail goes right to the front door. The beautiful glass really gives you the feeling that you're outdoors, especially when they open those gigantic doors to our left. And they're playing very good football inside this building, leading the Giants 14-3 at the half. More of the same from Sam Bradford, not gaudy numbers, but managing the game well, doing just enough with this terrific defense and solid special teams.
Why not? You got to be conservative. He's only been here a few weeks. They have 2 backup tackles. They have a new running back. I don't blame them. If you're going to just give up 3 points, just don't turn it over. But on the other side, it might be time for the Giants and Eli Manning to start throwing the ball down the field a little bit. They were very conservative. Obviously, a lot of respect for this Viking pass rush.
Indeed. He's avoided being sacked, but there have been a number of occasions when it seemed like he just threw the ball into the ground when he still had a little more time. It took Odell Beckham a while to get started, but he was more involved in the second quarter. 3 catches for just 23 yards. He did get penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct. It'll be Minnesota ball to begin the second half. Xavier Rhodes did a nice job for much of that first half, matched up primarily against Odell Beckham Jr. So Josh Brown tees it up, and the dangerous Cordero Patterson is back deep for Minnesota. 4 career kickoff returns for touchdowns. 11 career kickoff returns of 50 yards or more for Patterson. That is the Minnesota record. And he does not try to return the Brown kickoff. Touchback to the 25. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Sean, the matchup of this second half is going to be Odell Beckham Jr. and Vikings corner Xavier Rhodes. Those two had words for each other after just about every play in the second quarter. Like you said, Beckham picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. 1 more of those under the new rule, and he would be ejected from this game. A few of Beckham's teammates went over to him in the second quarter just to kind of make sure that he was keeping it together. And remember, head coach Ben McAdoo told us he wants Beckham to be passionate, but he also wants him to be in control of his emotions. I asked McAdoo if he was going to say anything to Beckham. All he would say is, we've got to cut down on the penalties. Sean.
All right, Lisa, thank you. On first down, Sam Bradford lofts one. It is caught. Charles Johnson, a big gainer, into Giants territory to the 45-yard line with Trevin Wade in coverage, a gain of 30.
This Sam Bradford is accurate. Just a straight go ball. Wade, backup defender, and Charles Johnson, another big receiver that can go up and get it. Great throw. Nice route by Johnson.
Just his 4th catch of the season. 4-year man out of Grand Valley State. Some trickery now from Norv Turner. And it didn't fake out the Giants as Stephon Diggs gets dumped for a 1-yard loss.
Well, Norv Turner did a lot of different things in that first half. He's going to use Cordell Patterson on a bubble screen with 2 lead blockers, and Patterson can run after the catch. And then Adam Thielen, crack blocking. They pull 2 linemen, and they toss the ball to Jerick McKinnon for a nice gain. And then they jump into the Wildcat. McKinnon fakes it to Cordero Patterson, and off he goes.
Quick hitter to Patterson, trying to use an Adam Thielen block. Patterson out of bounds at the Giant 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5, knocked out by Keenan Robinson.
You know, Sam Bradford, the language of this offense completely different than anything he's ever learned. He learned a West Coast language when he was playing for the Rams. Then he went to Philadelphia, and there was no language. They were in a no-huddle offense. Now he's got to learn this digital system of Norv Turner, and it's amazing how he's handled a lot of complexity in a short period of time.
So 8 days to go until opening day. Thought he was going to be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Giants bring pressure on 3rd down. They didn't get there, and Stephon Diggs broke free from the tackle of Janoris Jenkins to get the 1st down at the 34-yard line.
This kid is a good player. It's a shallow cross. Diggs against Janoris Jenkins. And watch the location of this throw. It allows Diggs to get the first down. The accuracy of Bradford helps his receivers run with the ball after they catch it. And Stephon Diggs over 1,000 yards in his first 16 games as a Minnesota Viking.
Puts him in distinguished company. 6-yard gain. 4-man rush for the Giants. Lots of time for Bradford. Checks it down to Matt Asiata, who maneuvers his way inside the 30. Jonathan Casillas tripped him up. This is the 17th game of Stephon Diggs' career. He's inactive for the first 3 games of his rookie season as he was learning the playbook, how to run routes precisely enough for Norv Turner. But the only other Viking with 1,000 yards plus receiving in his first 16 games, Randy Moss, on his way to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
That's a pretty good 5th-round pick right there.
Yes. One of many outstanding draft choices by Rick Spielman. There's Landon Collins, the 2nd-year safety out of Alabama, up to stuff Jerick McKinnon.
I like Collins. The closer he plays to the line of scrimmage, the better he is. This is a power play, and no one's going to block Collins on the left side of the screen, and he stuffs it. 2nd-year player out of Alabama, really improved his understanding of the defense, and he's a good communicator. They just need to get some turnovers from somebody on this Giant defense.
Bruce Spagnuolo said they'd like to play him more close to the line of scrimmage, but they really can't with the inexperience in the back. Here comes the pressure on Bradford, and McKinnon did not make the catch. He had one eye on Andrew Adams, who was coming up fast from his safety spot.
That's great defense. It's a blitz. It's that double-A gap blitz up the middle, and they don't block Olivier Vernon. Ball's got to come out to the hot receiver, and good one-on-one tackling. Olivier Vernon, the ex-Miami Dolphin. A huge offseason acquisition for the Giants.
That he chose the Giants. Of course, the money is always a key component, and they paid him a lot, $85 million. But he said, Eli Manning's presence. I wanted to go somewhere where I had a quarterback who could win a Super Bowl, because I want to win a Super Bowl. Here's Blair Walsh from 46 yards. And his struggles continue. And that has caused a lot of angst here in the Twin Cities since he missed a chip shot field goal at the end of their playoff loss to Seattle last winter. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Coors Light. Whatever your mountain, climb on. By Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Images of the Hall of Fame quarterback Fran Tarkenton, who played for both the Vikings and Giants during his tremendous career, led the Vikings to 3 Super Bowl appearances, retired as the all-time leading passer in the NFL in 1978, and spent time as a color commentator on Monday Night Football, 1979-82. From the 36, after the missed Minnesota field goal, Eli Manning's pass dropped by Odell Beckham Jr.
A lot of quick passes tonight. Almost every pass has come out in less than 2 seconds. There it is. There's the hit chart. 22 passes of 10 yards or less. Haven't pushed it tonight.
Not like he doesn't have receivers who can get down the field. Back to the run they go to Orleans Darkwa, and he gets knocked down by Harrison Smith, who picked him up and threw him down.
I really like Harrison Smith. You can play him anywhere, deep. You can play him on the line of scrimmage. You're going to see him come down on the right side of your screen and stuff Orleans Darkwa. Impact player. Reminds me of the old Troy Polamalu of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's great at disguising coverages, and they give him a lot of freedom to roam.
3rd down and 7. Play clock at 2. Vikings blitz. Manning got it off the rear, deep throw, and maybe that's why they don't do it. Intercepted by Xavier Rhodes.
Look out.
picking up blockers across midfield and out of bounds in Giant territory at the 42-yard line. The center, Winston Richburg, knocked him out of bounds.
Breakdown between Eli Manning and Odell Beckham. They're not on the same page. It's a blitz. Manning tried to audible, and you look at the top of the screen, Rhodes versus Beckham. I don't know if Eli gave him the signal or Odell didn't get it, but Eli threw the ball to the post. I don't know what Beckham is running, and Xavier Rhodes delivers.
First interception of the season for Rhodes. Second turnover of the night for New York.
I don't think Eli Manning likes seeing the Minnesota Vikings.
2-5 career in the previous 7 starts against Minnesota, and down 14-3. Eli and the Giants tonight as Jerick McKinnon carries for 3. So more of the same for Minnesota and New York. Giants -9, -8 rather in turnover margin, and the Vikings now +10. Their only turnover this year, Minnesota, it was on defense rather. They recovered a Green Bay fumble and then fumbled it right back on the same play.
I'm surprised Beckham isn't over there with Eli.
On 2nd and 7. They fake the delay to McKinnon. Bradford on target to Kyle Rudolph inside the 30. First down Minnesota. Landon Collins made the tackle for New York, a gain of 12.
That's what we said in the pregame. This is a play that Sam Bradford ran in Philadelphia. It's a bubble with the tight end on the over route, and they clear it out. Watch Sam fake the ball to the back. There's a bubble screen by Patterson, and there's the tight end Rudolph on the over route. Chip Kelly's got to be laughing somewhere. That's his play he ran last year all the time.
The rookie Laquan Treadwell making a rare appearance on the field. Jerick McKinnon spins forward for a couple. And we mentioned this veteran Minnesota coaching staff. A newcomer is Pat Shurmur, who coached Sam Bradford last year in Philadelphia as his offensive coordinator. He was also his offensive coordinator in St. Louis under Steve Spagnuolo. And Rick Spielman said one of the biggest reasons they made the trade to get Bradford, Pat Shurmur knew him as well as anybody, and he was all in on Bradford, both the intangibles and his physical skills.
And Pat Shurmur can coach, and they beat the Giants last year twice in Philadelphia, and Shurmur was the head coach once.
As the interim coach at the end of the year. Bradford throws. Kyle Rudolph couldn't catch it, and Rudolph spoke at length yesterday about what a difference Pat Shurmur's made to him in his first year as the tight ends coach.
You know, you get in a game like this, Sean, and your head coach Mike Zimmer, and points are valuable, and he's got to be looking at Blair Walsh sideways because he has no confidence. I can't believe he has much confidence in his kicker. He's missed a couple extra points. He hooked that one there, and it goes back to the Seattle game last year. That short field goal cost him a playoff win.
Seems like it has destroyed his confidence. Mike Prefer, the special teams coach, says that's really what it is. It's just all in his head. He's so physically talented. Vernon in pursuit of Bradford, and Sam threw it away.
Good effort by Vernon. You got to give Olivier Vernon a lot of credit. The man does not come off the field, and he plays hard. Working against TJ Clemmings, he wins on an inside move, and that's just good effort. But here he is. I hope he makes this. He desperately needs this, or this crowd and head coach Mike Zimmer will not like it.
But a very strong leg. This is a 44-yard attempt. Missed from 46 moments ago. That one good for him. Right down the middle. And a mock cheer and a sigh of relief, undoubtedly. It's come to be known as the Blair Walsh Project here every time he lines up a kick. Back to a 2-touchdown lead for Minnesota. NFL Play 60, the NFL's movement for a more active generation, encourages fans to get moving and playing for 60 minutes every day. Learn how you can join the NFL Play 60 movement at NFL.com/play60. 2 New York turnovers have led to 10 of Minnesota's 17 points. Blair Walsh to kick off. And Dwayne Harris will not run it out. Nearly midway through the third quarter, Eli Manning and the Giants still looking for some offense. Vikings led 14-3 at the half. The Giants have lost 15 straight road games when trailing at the half. That's the longest such streak in the NFL. They haven't come from behind at halftime to win on the road since 2011 at Dallas. And Minnesota's 19-game home winning streak when leading at the half, second longest in the league behind the Patriots. 83 in a row when leading at the half for the Patriots, but they lost yesterday. Never had the lead. They didn't score against Buffalo. Will tie the catch. And a decent gain on first down for New York out to the 32-yard line.
That's a good call by Ben McAdoo. Move in the pocket, get Eli on the move. He's looking for Odell Beckham on a little swing route. Watch him come back, and Captain Munnerlyn read it beautifully. They have done a nice job between Rhodes and the rest of this Purple Rain defense against Odell Beckham tonight.
Harrison Smith up blitzing, and the slant dropped by Victor Cruz with Trey Waynes in coverage.
That's a great play by Trey Waynes, who's filling in for Xavier Rhodes. It's a slant pattern. Waynes, the ex-first round pick, has played more in the first 4 weeks than he played all of last season. Nice work.
Out of Michigan State, Waynes. Those defensive backs play aggressively because they know with the pass rush they don't have to cover for very long. 1 out of 8 on third down, New York. A bomb thrown by Manning. Beckham couldn't make the catch. Looked like he might make a one-hander with the left. Terrence Newman had the coverage.
Terrence Newman is 38 years old. He's saying, I just ran step for step with Odell Beckham. Eli had the matchup he wanted. It was one-on-one coverage, and he just couldn't make that one-handed catch.
A little hand fighting.
Good no call.
Yep, Newman, the second oldest defensive player in the league. James Harrison's 4 months older. And Newman, he's 38. Brad Wing. Fair catch made. Marcus Sherrills at the 20-yard line. 48-yard punt. Almost a big play for the Giants, who really need one. Wednesday night at 8 on ESPN, it's the National League wildcard game. The San Francisco Giants and the New York Mets. Probable starters Madison Bumgarner and Noah Syndergaard. You can watch it on the ESPN app. First down for Minnesota. Jerick McKinnon bangs his way out to the 24-yard line. Ran into Landon Collins, the safety.
You know, this group of Vikings, one of their, I think, secret to success is their unselfishness, Sean. They really don't care about their individual statistics on either side of the ball. What can I do on every single play to help us win a game? And it starts with the veteran leadership they have here. Terrence Newman, Chad Greenway.
Bradford, another handoff to McKinnon. He got stood up at the line of scrimmage by Devon Kennard, the linebacker, third-year man out of USC.
And on his third down, I think it's time for head coach or defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo to make something happen. He's got his specialty pass rushers on the field, 4 defensive ends. And Jason Pierre-Paul and Olivier Vernon are going to cut it loose.
Spagnuolo very familiar with Sam Bradford. He was the head coach of the St. Louis Rams when they drafted Sam, who had a great rookie year for the Rams, and Spagnuolo in 2010. On 3rd and 6, the pass is high for Rudolph. And they want a flag, and they get one from the official deep down the middle of the field. Trevin Wade had the coverage.
Pass interference, defense, number 31.
The question I had is, was it catchable?
Pass interference, defense number 31. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Big penalty once again on Wade, who's a backup player. And the clock now starts to become the enemy for the Giants.
Injuries all over that secondary for New York. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie dressed tonight. They were hoping he might be able to play. Battling a groin injury. Dumped down for a short gain. Michael Pruitt with his first catch of the season. He's been out with a sprained MCL, suffered in the preseason. There's Rodgers-Cromartie dressed but has not played.
Seeing a lot of different things. That time Cordero Patterson screaming across the formation. They fake a jet sweep, run a bootleg. And Pruitt, a man we haven't heard anything from this year, with a big catch.
Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Vikings leading by 2 touchdowns. Matt Asiata taken down by Olivier Vernon.
This Olivier Vernon is a strong man. He walked in our production meeting last night, and I wished I had those arms. Watch him bench press Michael Pruitt right into the ball carrier. If you're a tight end and you line up across from that man, you better get excited about blocking or he'll make you look really bad. That's impressive.
$85 million to buy you your own set of dumbbells. $52 million guaranteed. Another third down, and Bradford on target. Cordero Patterson the catch, and he made the line to make by about a yard, the 40-yard line. Popped back by Janoris Jenkins, who seemed frustrated by the spot, but that's where he caught it. Needed 3 and got 4.
Well, obviously, head coach Mike Zimmer told Norv Turner to get this kid involved, and he's carried it tonight. He's caught some passes. He's made his impact on special teams, and the former first rounder out of Tennessee with a big first down. Mike Zimmer uses his entire game day roster every week.
Asiata chopped down by Chevin Wade.
You know,
how much are injuries bothering Steve Spagnuolo? How about what he told us yesterday? Even his wife is on injured reserve. Maria Spagnuolo just underwent ACL surgery in the rare double Dutch injury. Hurt her ACL doing that thing with the jump rope.
Yeah, I wish her the best.
She's great.
It's hard on this guy. You know, he's got a great game plan there. You can't get to anything when you don't have people available. Frustrating.
Time-consuming drive with this 2-touchdown lead. Bradford doesn't run much. But runs effectively there. Swung out of bounds by Keenan Robinson.
It's pretty good coverage down the field. Nowhere for Sam to go. And you see Johnson, number 12, working against Janoris Jenkins. There's Stephon Diggs working inside against the zone coverage. Landon Collins saw it all the way. Third down and 4.
It's the first rush for a gain this year by Sam Bradford. And they keep the drive moving with another third down conversion. Yes, Kyle Rudolph to the Giants' 38-yard line, wrestled down by Trevin Wade.
This Norv Turner, when he was in San Diego as a head coach, he got a lot of mileage out of Antonio Gates. And now he's using Kyle Rudolph in a very similar fashion. They detached him in the first half. He had a touchdown reception. That's a beautiful route against man coverage by Rudolph, who's coming into his own. Good to see him healthy, and he's been very productive.
Ninth play of the drive. They've taken 5.5 minutes off the clock. Bradford just did get it off at the last moment to Jerick McKinnon. And he's down at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, you know, Norv Turner in San Diego, he had a great one in Antonio Gates. And here in Minnesota, with the healthy Kyle Rudolph, they ask him to run a lot of different routes. He runs a lot of shallow crosses, deep crosses. That time he started to run the shallow cross. He came back where he came from. It's a beautiful thing. But they're going to run seam routes, corner routes, stick routes, flat routes. Kyle Rudolph can run a lot of different routes from a lot of different locations. And Norv Turner, he's the master of getting a good player the ball.
John, you need to work a little harder next week's game. Obviously playing a lot of golf this week. Pass intended for McKinnon. Pressure brought by Steve Spagnuolo. And it paid off for the Giants.
Well, Kyle Rudolph, unselfish player. I've seen him pass protect this year. He's improved at the point of attack in the running game. And you can use him in a lot of different formations. I don't want to compare anybody as a true receiver to Antonio Gates, but they are using him from a route tree standpoint in some very similar ways. Here he is again, attached at the top of the screen as a wide receiver.
Let the play clock run all the way down and use the timeout with 37 seconds to go in the third quarter. Huge third down upcoming for the Vikings. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters. I've never seen a more impressive stadium than this place. U.S. Bank Stadium. The new home in the Minnesota Vikings, trying to go to 4-0 for the season. 11th play of the drive. Final minute of the third quarter. The Vikings leading 17-3. Bradford, high throw, and Stephon Diggs couldn't come down with it.
And Sam Bradford can make that throw in his sleep, and he knows it. Steve Spagnuolo comes with an all-out blitz. It's one-on-one coverage, and Patterson is open. Or excuse me, Diggs is wide open, and that ball just sailed. And Sam Bradford can't believe it.
Ordinarily so accurate. When Norv Turner was talking about his best attributes, he said accuracy and great vision, and he's tough. Steve Spagnuolo still coaching up the young defense. The Giant offense trying to find a way to get something done. They won't try a 55-yard field goal with Walsh's struggles, and they don't want to give the Giants the ball near midfield. Lean on this defense. Fair catch made by Dwayne Harris at the 8-yard line. 30-yard punt. Well, John, you mentioned you nicknamed them the Purple Rain defense. The previous 2 weeks they defeated MVPs and Aaron Rodgers, who was sacked 5 times and fumbled 3, threw an interception. And it was an even bigger beating Cam Newton took last week.
Yeah, 8 sacks and 3 interceptions. And look what he's done tonight. I mean, 118 passing yards. The longest completion with all these receivers is 12 yards. Those are 3 great quarterbacks that you just showed. That's how you measure your defense, how they do against the best.
Minnesota took a lot of time off the clock on that last possession. They marked the ball at the 9. Eli Manning wide open and a first down. Will Tye, the tight end out of Stony Brook on Long Island, chopped down by Harrison Smith.
I can't wait for this fourth quarter. Don't fall asleep on these Mannings. I've had it done to me several times. Great way to come out of a backed up situation.
They get one last play off here in the third quarter. Out in the flat for Sterling Shepard. That 18-yard play on the previous play to tie the longest completion of the night for Eli Manning. On to the fourth quarter we go. Monday Night Football from Minneapolis. This is a nod toward the Icelandic soccer team in the Euros after their big win against England. Got a lot of attention. Viking thunderclap celebration. Viking fans now have their Skol chant here at the end of the third quarter. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun for the Giants. Paul Perkins in the secondary. Inside the 30 of Minnesota. Look at his speed inside the 10 and blasted down at the 5-yard line by Andrew Sendejo.
Screen pass off the right side. Linval Joseph in hot pursuit, can't get there. But watch Paul Perkins, the rookie out of UCLA. catch this screen and pick up a couple blocks. Richburg, number 70, John Jerry, number 77, and Paul Perkins is off to the races. Great work by the rookie.
67-yard gain. Minnesota was the only defense in the NFL that had not allowed a 40-yard pass play or run play against them. That's out the window, and now the Giants position to get right back in the game.
14-43, please. 1-4-4-3, please.
And remember, Sean, the Giants really don't have a true blocking tight end, and they don't have a fullback. So in these tight red zone goal-to-goal situations, they're going to use their spread offense. They're even in an empty backfield set right now.
Darkwa goes in motion, leaving Beckham alone on the left. Vikings crowd the line. Orleans Darkwa to the 2-yard line. Daniil Hunter led the way for the Minnesota defense. Second-year man out of LSU.
And with this personnel that the Giants have on the field, Eli Manning has Odell Beckham split wide to his left. It's Cruz split wide to his right with Shepard in the slot. He's going to look at the Vikings, and if it's man-to-man, he's going to throw a hand signal to one of these wideouts. If they play zone, he's going to hand the ball off again.
Will Tye, the tight end, lined up in front of Orleans Darkwa. Manning throws, batted away, intended for Cruz, who wants a flag and gets it against Trey Waynes.
Man-to-man coverage, and he wanted Waynes.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. The foul but hurt in the end zone. Ball's placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
I think Waynes had 3 pass interference calls against the Green Bay Packers, and
he did. He had 2 in a defensive holding, and no question about that call on Waynes against Victor Cruz.
No doubt about it. No fullback and no blocking tight end at the 1-yard line.
Darkwa, the running back. Darkwa drives the legs into the end zone through Eric Kendricks for the first New York touchdown of the night.
Be your own blocker. Nice run by Darkwa as he beats Kendricks in the hole. 1-yard line. It's Kendricks in a one-on-one tackling situation, and Darkwa wins. And a huge screen pass to Paul Perkins. Give these backs of the Giants credit. They do not have Shane Vereen. They do not have Rashad Jennings, and the rookie from UCLA. Perkins ignited this team, and Darkwa puts the Giants 1 score out.
Josh Brown for the extra point. And the Vikings lead is 17-10. 91-yard drive in just 5 plays, capped by the run by Darkwa. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Lyrica. By NFLshop.com. Find the largest selection of NFL products at the official store of the NFL. By Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings Beer Sports. And by IBM. Outthink your biggest challenges. Coverage tonight from SkyCam is brought to you by American Express. You can feel the anxiety now in this sellout crowd at U.S. Bank Stadium. More than 66,000 here. Giants have scored their first touchdown of the night to make it a 7-point game. Josh Brown kicks off. Cordero Patterson will try it. And he's stopped at the 24 by Leon Hall, the kicker Josh Brown nearby. This is the 4th different home for the Vikings. They started in 1961 at the old Met Center in Bloomington, moved to the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in '82. The last 2 years at TCF Bank Stadium at the University of Minnesota, while they built this stadium, U.S. Bank Stadium, on the site of the former Metrodome. I'm not sure we have the words to describe how impressive this place is.
It really is. Nice people up here, too.
Yeah,
Great
for sure. It's already been a great weekend here in the Twin Cities, hosting the Ryder Cup about 25 miles from here at Hazeltine, the American victory. Jerick McKinnon, the ball carrier, and Keenan Robinson made the tackle after a gain of 2.
You know, Sean, when I was coaching and we lost a quarterback because of injury, we lengthened practice to get the backup some reps. When we traded for a quarterback because of an injury, we would lengthen practice to give our quarterback time to get ready. But with the new rules, the CBA, you can't lengthen practice. And the only way Sam Bradford is ever going to get a true handle of this offense is by getting reps on the practice field, but they're harder and harder to get. Let's see what he really knows at crunch time.
Under duress, his pass is batted, still caught by Cordero Patterson. He's yanked down by Leon Hall. We mentioned Sam Bradford thought he was going to be the starting quarterback for Philadelphia. He was actually home in Oklahoma. He had a couple of days off after the Eagles finished their preseason games on a Thursday night. On that Saturday morning, 8 days from the opener, he got a phone call at 8 in the morning telling him he'd been traded to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings sent a plane at 1:30 that afternoon. He was on his way here to Minneapolis and went straight to the office to start learning the offense with Norv Turner, Scott Turner, Pat Shermer, and the rest of these offensive coaches. Bradford throws wide open. Kyle Rudolph out to the 47-yard line. Landon Collins gesturing toward the sidelines, wondering who was supposed to be covering Kyle Rudolph.
Well, Leon Hall blew the coverage. If there's one guy you want to cover on 3rd and 5 in the 4th quarter, it's Kyle Rudolph. Just a simple hook route over the ball. Nobody's there. Said it earlier. You're missing a lot of secondary people. Communication's a problem.
Quick throw to Cordero Patterson. Gets pinballed around. Reaches the 50 for a pickup of 3.
You know, you said it. Scott Turner, the quarterback coach, son of Norv Turner. He's been meeting privately with Sam Bradford, teaching him the formations, teaching him the motions, how the snap count works, what the audibles are. Then he says, hey, Sam, do you like this play? What plays do you like? Then he gets all this information. He translates it to Norv Turner, and these two Turners with Sam Bradford has been a beautiful thing to watch. Let's see if they can finish the job.
So many different systems in which Bradford has played. He said it's almost like learning a new language every time. Matt Asiata got them into Giants territory to the 49-yard line. Here comes another big 3rd down with under 11 minutes to go.
And at the bottom of that pile, Jonathan Hankins. And here comes the specialty rushers again for the Giants. Last time they had a 3rd down, they brought the house, and Sam Bradford missed Stephon Diggs. Will Steve Spagnuolo bring it all again?
On 3rd and 5, swing pass Asiata. They bang him out of bounds. Where are they going to mark it?
Asiata, I like Asiata.
1st down.
He was brought in here undrafted out of Utah. They cut him. They brought him back. He made it. He hung around. He filled in a couple years ago when Adrian Peterson was suspended. He played well. Then he went back to special teams, and now he gets one of the biggest 1st downs of his career. Great effort by Matt Asiata.
Drove a forklift during the time that he was out of the National Football League before the Vikings brought him back. Bradford deep throw, man open. Charles Johnson inside the 10-yard line.
They are going after Trevin Wade big time. He's had 2 penalties. He already got beat on a touchdown by Kyle Rudolph, and that time Charles Johnson burns him again. He's going to get the inside release. He gets back outside away from the safety, and Bradford throws a beautiful bullet. And the Vikings are looking for the knockout punch.
Wade, usually a special teams player, forced in action tonight with the injuries in the secondary, and Jerick McKinnon walks into the end zone.
That's that up-tempo offense. Norv Turner has changed things a lot, and tempo is one of the biggest changes. They jump into this no-huddle offense. They run a quick count before the Giants can get ready. They run a power play, and it's touchdown Minnesota. Look at the defense of the Giants. Total disarray. Not ready to go. No weight on their hands and their stances, and McKinnon blasts them.
Terrific answer by the Vikings offense. Third career rushing touchdown for McKinnon and 198 career carries. Usually they had Adrian Peterson down there, Asiata to punch it in. All three of his career rushing touchdowns have come against the New York Giants. Extra point good by Blair Walsh. Back to a 2-touchdown lead for the undefeated Vikings. Trevin Wade, fourth-year man out of Arizona, thrown into the fray tonight with the injuries in the secondary. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie trying to keep his spirits up. They've come after him, thrown in his direction 8 times, completed 5 of them, including that big 40-yarder a moment ago to Charles Johnson that set up the Minnesota touchdown.
I know what Cromartie's telling them. He's saying they're coming right back at you. You go make a play.
Blair Walsh to kick off. Wayne Harris will bring it out. Ooh, he took a pop. Audie Cole leading the kickoff coverage near the 25-yard line.
Well, Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, has been doing this a long time. When there's a backup corner in the game, go after him. In the first half, he used his tight end in the red zone for 6. And then on third down, it was Rudolph again for a huge first down. And twice, Charles Johnson has run by him deep for big plays that have set up scores. And that's what you do. You go after the replacements until they prove their game ready.
From the 25, the toss to Orleans Darkwa. Run down by Daniil Hunter.
Daniil Hunter. Is he one of our favorite players or what? This young man is going to be a superstar. I mean, his pass rush safety of Cam Newton last week was one of the greatest plays I've ever seen. He's just a puppy, only 22 years old.
He'll be 22 at the end of this month. One of the youngest players in the league. They drafted him as a developmental player. Completion Manning to Will Tye. Captain Munnerlyn trying to wrestle him down.
Oh, this is what I've wanted to see. The fourth quarter pass rush of the Minnesota Vikings. Championship teams, they close the door shut with their fourth quarter pass rush. This is when you want to see Minnesota. This is what they do best.
Manning lofting one for Beckham, and it's out of bounds with Xavier Rhodes again running in coverage. 3 catches tonight for Odell Beckham Jr. He's had at least 4 catches in each of his last 28 games. 5th longest streak in the history of the league.
All these stats are great. All these yards, all these numbers I'm reading about. It's the wins that matter, and that's what they need most.
Bobby Rainey weaving through the traffic across midfield. Harrison Smith the tackle. It's a 9-yard gain for the Giants.
Eli being very patient with his play selection, and we have an injured Viking.
I believe it's Xavier Rhodes. And that would be a big loss with the terrific job he's done on Beckham tonight. 7:56 to go here in Minneapolis. Crowd roaring with the Giants looking at 3rd down and 2 from just across midfield, likely in 4-down territory. They're 1 out of 9 on 3rd down tonight. They've averaged more than 8 yards to go. This is more manageable, and they manage it. Bobby Rainey down to the 41.
Bobby Rainey is quick, and he has excellent vision. That's a key first down. Watch him. He's going to start over here to the left. He's not a real tall back. He just disappears behind these big linemen, and he squirts back to the weak side for a huge first down.
8-yard gain. He's just 5 feet 8 inches tall. Out of Western Kentucky. Big conversion for the Giants. Eli Manning can't find anybody and throws it away in the direction of Beckham.
Giants using a lot of maximum protection, and they have given Eli some surprising opportunities to hold the ball. They just don't have very many receivers in the route. Once again, it's Paul Perkins, the rookie at halfback. You see Eli trying to get him on the same page with what his pass protection is.
Xavier Rhodes still out of the game. They fake the inside handoff to Perkins, and the slant incomplete, looking for Victor Cruz with Trey Waynes, who came back in for Rhodes in coverage on Victor.
I tell you, Trey Waynes has a very short-term memory. Top of your screen, had a pass interference call earlier. It's not going to stop him. He had 3 pass interference calls against Green Bay and ended the Packers' day with a key interception. He's making progress.
7 minutes to go. 3rd down and 10. The last 6 times they've targeted Beckham, he hasn't had a catch. Well covered, or the ball has been off target, or he hasn't been able to hang on. Manning got it off. And a good tackle in the open field by Eric Kendricks to take down Paul Perkins. And the Giants will have to go for it on 4th down with under 7 minutes to go, trailing by 14.
Watch Harrison Smith come out of the stack to double Odell Beckham. They are doing everything they can. That was Anthony Barr. They're doing everything they can to double split ends, wide receivers when they're by themselves. Game on the line.
On 4th and 5, will they come after Eli Manning? Manning making sure the rookie Paul Perkins knows what he's doing. Perkins stayed in the block. It's incomplete. Intended for Sterling Shepard. Might have been tipped at the line. If not, it was an awful pass out of the hand of Manning. The Giants turn it over on down. Still down by 14. 6:11 to go. Well, yesterday, players from Thomas Edison High School in Minneapolis invited to the Vikings practice facility in suburban Eden Prairie. A walkthrough, they toured the facility. Mike Zimmer addressed the team. Vikings players Chad Greenway, Laquan Treadwell, among others, interacting with the high schoolers. Great day for the Thomas Edison Tommies. Derek McKinnon collared after a gain of about 3.
Well, that deciding play on 4th down, it was the double A gap blitz, and they used Anthony Barr as a blitzer, and rookie Paul Perkins doesn't get it done. And Barr is going to bat this pass down and never had a chance. The 6'5" inside linebacker. And they miss Shane Vereen, their 3rd down back. Rashad Jennings, their 1st down back. You have a rookie backup player. And it cost them tonight in pass protection, although Perkins did do some good things as a runner and receiver.
And their biggest play of the night to set up their touchdown. Sam Bradford wisely slides at the 43-yard line.
I can't say enough about Bradford coming in here right before the start of the season. He has not turned the ball over in 3 games. That's hard to do if you're here for 3 years. And they're not just running 2 or 3 different plays. They've changed personnel almost every single play. He's in the huddle. He wasn't in the huddle last year at Philadelphia. And this Viking offense is flying under the radar. They're doing some good things as well.
Still have not turned it over on offense this year, and the Giants defense does not have a takeaway this year through almost 4 full games. Boy, it looked like Olivier Vernon was being held. Bradford got the pass off to Stephon Diggs. And that's a 1st down, Minnesota, to the Giants' 48-yard line.
Well, he's going to feel the rush coming off his left side. He has a presence about him. Watch him veer to his right. He feels Olivier Vernon. That's called pocket presence. And Sam Bradford has done a great job taking care of the football and avoiding sacks and negative plays. And Stephon Diggs has proven to us again, Sean, he is legit.
McKinnon squirts through the middle inside the 45. I'd say this too, John, a perceived weakness of this Minnesota team, the offensive line. Norv Turner told us Saturday he thinks the offensive line is getting better week to week, and based on what we've seen tonight, I would agree with him.
I would too. And Tony Sperano, who's been around, done this a long time, He has made it happen before at other stops. And I look out there, Sean, last week against the Redskins, they have Damon Harrison. They spent a lot of money bringing him here. Jonathan Hankins, a high draft pick. They couldn't stop Washington at the end of the game, and right now Minnesota is wearing them out as well.
97 yards rushing for the Vikings. He came in averaging 51 per game. A couple more and then a late flag as McKinnon went down. The flag hit the ground as well.
Holding. Offense number 82. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Kyle Rudolph, the tight end. Well, they were able to win their first 3 games despite the fact they were last in the league in rushing yardage. No other team in NFL history ever won their first 3 games of the season while running for as few yards as the Vikings did, 153.
That's unbelievable. They look like they're figuring some things out with their running game tonight. Here's an unbalanced formation.
Back to the ground with McKinnon. He got popped and still lunged ahead to the 50-yard line. And now the Vikings, rather the Giants, it seems, are going to use a timeout.
You know, you look down on the Vikings sideline where Tony Sperano is. You just saw an unbalanced formation there with built-in bubble screens. Remember, Sperano's the guy that brought in the Wildcat. He's the first guy I ever saw do it in Miami. And he's always had some crazy running plays up his sleeve. And you combine Sperano with Norv Turner, and you have a heck of a defense. This could be interesting for Viking fans down the stretch. There's Pat Shurmur. What a job he's done wherever he's been.
It's an excellent staff. And you talked about it. It's year 3 for Mike Zimmer. When you've talked in the past about when you're a new coach, sometimes it gets you a couple of years before you can bring all of the assistants that you want in, because when you first get the job, assistants you might want are under contract to other teams.
That's exactly right.
Two timeouts left for the Giants. Diggs driving, but not far enough to get the first down. He broke free from the tackle of Jonathan Casillas. But then Andrew Adams and Romeo Okwara, the rookie out of Notre Dame, who they think is going to be a star, combined on the tackle, and the Vikings will punt. The Giants have used their second timeout of the half.
You know, I like watching the Vikings practice this week. You know, you go to a lot of places and there's guys injured, but Sam Bradford and Carson Wentz, these two men have really given their team something.
Indeed, they have. Wentz was going to be the 3rd string quarterback and likely inactive at the beginning of the year had they not traded Sam Bradford. It's worked out beautifully for both teams. The Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles, both undefeated. Wentz, as it turned out, was more than ready to play as a rookie.
Two teams have different opening day starting quarterbacks. The week of the season they make the trade and they're both undefeated. That's amazing what you just showed there.
B.J. Goodson put pressure on that punt but couldn't block it. Jeff Locke got it off, and the fair catch made by Dwayne Harris near the 10-yard line. Well, here's what's ahead. Speaking of the Eagles, they'll take on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia with the Vikings on October 23rd in 3 weeks. They have the Texans here. They'll likely be trying to go to 5-0 in that game. Then a bye week, then at the Eagles and at the Bears, who got their first win yesterday over Detroit. Only 3 undefeated teams remaining in the league and only 1 winless team. After 4 weeks, the Cleveland Browns are 0-4. Manning to Rainey.
This Anthony Barr, just look at this man covered ground. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. Out of UCLA, number 55. He has really matured as a communicator. He's got incredible instincts. We've already seen him ruin this game as a blitzer. And
Manning over the middle for Rainey, taken down by Kendricks. Like Anthony Barr out of UCLA, they play side by side. Matter of fact, they were roommates at UCLA. 4 UCLA Bruins on this team. Manning, very short completion to Rainey. Kendricks right there to take him down. We're under 3 minutes to go. Eli Manning and the Giants running out of time, down by 14. Three-man rush. Eli caught. First down. Victor Cruz to the 39-yard line. Banged down by Harrison Smith.
He's an old school ball player. You remember when he hits you.
14-yard gain. They come quickly to the line. Just one timeout left for New York. Twisting up front by the Viking defensive line. Rainey no gain. Taken down by Captain Munnerlyn.
Don't give New York as many of those as they want. Got to heave it down the field. It's your only chance.
Eli doesn't heave it down the field. Dumps it off for Rainey. That'll take them to the 2-minute warning. Captain Munnerlyn the tackle at the 45. Vikings trying to get to 4-0, leading by 14.
Hi, folks. I'm Steve Levy. Make sure you stick around for the GMC postgame report coming up immediately following the game. Randy Moss, Trent Dilfer, and Steve Young will join me. We'll break down this game. And on SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt, they'll be joined by Joshua Dobbs, the hero from the Tennessee Hail Mary, and a very special one big thing. See you after the game. Sean and John, bring us home.
With some help from the spirited partisans. Minnesota Vikings 2 minutes away from 4-0 if they can protect this 14-point lead. The New York Giants 3rd down and 4 from their own 45-yard line. Perkins, the running back, again. Confusion, it seems. They get it off. Manning got the pass off, and it's dropped by Kendrick. Should have been intercepted.
That play looked doomed from the beginning. Tom Johnson hits Eli, but the communication between Eli and Will Tye was a struggle. He's clapping his hands to get Tye the route, and number 92, left side of your screen, forces a quick throw, and Kendricks should have taken that to the house.
He returned one for a touchdown, Eric Kendricks, in the opener against Tennessee. This is the ball game right here. If the Giants do not convert, it is over. 4th down and 4. Eli down the sideline over the head of Paul Perkins, and the Vikings take over on downs.
Vikings came in here, Sean, giving up just over 13 points a game. They give up 10 tonight, and 3 straight weeks they've taken down what I consider the best quarterbacks in football, and you got to tip your hat to them.
Vikings are going to go to 4-0 for the first time since 2009 when they started 6-0 and wound up winning the NFC North. This is going to be their 7th straight regular season win dating back to last season. And Eli Manning's difficulties against the Minnesota Vikings continue. Movement along the line. Zach Line, the fullback. There is a flag down. He's down inside the 40.
Offside. Defense number 95 moved into the neutral zone prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jonathan Hankins. Here's Lisa Salters.
Hey, Sean. Well, as you know, we saw Teddy Bridgewater at Vikings practice on Saturday. He showed up just to say hello. He was, of course, on crutches, wearing a straight leg brace. He told me that he's not allowed to put any weight on that leg for at least another 3 weeks. But what surprised me most was the big smile that he had on his face. And he said, you know, I know people think that I might be depressed, but he said, I'm going to stay positive during this time and get mentally stronger. Head athletic trainer Eric Sugarman told me Bridgewater is in for rehab 2.5 to 3 hours every day. He said right now the work they're doing is about controlling the swelling, restoring the motion of the knee joint, and restoring the function of the quad muscles around the knee. They hope to get Bridgewater in the pool next week to do some non-weight-bearing resistance work. But overall, they said he's right on schedule. As for Adrian Peterson, His surgery was 11 days ago, and so this past Thursday, that was the 1 week mark. He was able to get off the crutches and start walking on his own. I'm told his rehab will be similar to Bridgewater's, just accelerated because the injury wasn't as severe. But as soon as the wounds from surgery heal, they hope to get him in the pool to do some resistance work. But the rehab process really for Adrian is just now beginning. Sean?
They're hoping he could be back late in the year. Bridgewater will not. Sack line again for what appears to be a first down after the Giants used their last timeout. And Sam Bradford's going to go to 3-0 as starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. And as a team, they go to 4-0. Sean Hill did a nice job protecting the ball and leading them to victory on opening day in Tennessee.
You know, Sean, when you lose Teddy Bridgewater after the kind of preseason that he had and the kind of kid he is, that's shock. That sent shock through this team. And then you lose Adrian Peterson. You're playing without Sharif Floyd, one of your best defensive players. And Sam Bradford has come in here. He's been calm. There's a little fight. But he's in his 7th year. He's on his 5th different head coach, his 6th different offensive coordinator. And you got to credit Mike Zimmer with the job that he has done with all the adversity surrounding him.
Well, as the players we talked to said, he never blinked, even with those injuries to Bridgewater, Matt Khalil, first-round pick, Peterson. And as Mike Zimmer said, he lost his wife 7 years ago. When you've gone through that, injuries on a football team pale obviously greatly by comparison. And give Rick Spielman credit. And right now, if you voted for the coach of the year in the league, it would be that man. If you voted for the executive of the year in the NFL, it would be Rick Spielman, who made the big trade, believed in the rest of the team, knew they needed the quarterback, and Sam Bradford is clearly the right man at the right time. A greeting from his old head coach in St. Louis, Steve Spagnuolo, who's always a class act. Sports Center coming up next, the GMC postgame. Final score, the Vikings 24, the Giants 10. Minnesota now 4-0, the Giants 2-2. We'll be back in a moment to reveal this week's choice for the Gruden Grinder. Thanks for watching Monday Night Football from Minneapolis.